The colors I am testing in this video are Artist Loft's new Ready Mixed Pouring Paint. You can get it at Michael's on their website. I don't really know where else they sell it. I know those two places. So I'm going to test it according to the directions. You just pour right onto your canvas or substrate. No need to dilute with other mediums. Dries within 24 hours. The colors I got, there's about, I would say it's probably 25 different colors maybe or so. I got deep yellow, metallic white, bright blue, and aqua green. They also have red, yellow, purple, all the colors of the rainbow, as well as black. And I'm not going to mix anything or add anything. I'm going to use them straight out of the bottle, just like they say. And we'll go with that first, and we'll see how they work. Using kind of the same techniques as I would use on my regular flow mix, which is 1 part paint, 2 to 3 parts Floetrol. All right, let's get to it. Here we go. Let's see. I'm going to start with the straw blow. All right, so I'm just going to put a little bit of white down like I normally would. Oops. And I'm going to spread that out a little bit. And, I'm not changing anything as far as my traditional style. So I'm going to try to, keep that all the same for the most part. And the brush is not big enough. What's with my brushes? This one I didn't rinse off well enough, and it's like really crunchy. All right. And this is why I got 2 of the whites, because I figure of any of the color, I'll be using white the most. I don't know if it will do the same as the typical Artist Loft white. Okay, so there's that. And then I'm just gonna do these colors and see how they do. Well, the colors are pretty. I do wish, they had a few more variety. Like I wish they had a pink or a magenta, really. But I also really like the yellow. It's interesting. I'm looking at it now, and the colors look very translucent-ish. Okay, and then I'll just do a little drop of white like I normally would. Up at the top here. And then we will see what happens. Sorry if my hair gets in the way. So very translucent. I'm gonna turn this so I can move this way. So my first impression of this is that it seems like it is acting a lot like regular pouring medium. And the pouring medium thins out the colors, makes them a little more translucent. But it doesn't make sort of, here's, what I like when I do the straw blow method is that you get the really beautiful webbing, and I really like that webbing effect. But that said, this is interesting. It's really neat. You can see the translucent colors, and I think that's kind of cool. So we'll go with it. We'll see. All right, next one I think I'm gonna try is the open cup pour. Since it didn't do the webbing, you know, I do wonder if we're gonna get cells at all, or if, you know, if it's just gonna, you know, kind of run around and blend. That at least when I use pouring medium, that the regular, like the Liquitex pouring medium, that's what happens to me. I prefer Floetrol, and my normal mix is 1 part paint to 2 to 3 part Floetrol. And for me, it does the white cells. It gives a nice mix. You know, I like that look personally. Okay. So we'll do this. This process, at least for me, usually also gives the webbing and the cells. So we'll see if it works here too. All right, and I'm gonna start with yellow this time. Usually that's what comes first out. And there's the dark blue. Actually, I think I might put a little black. I mean, I'm not so sure exactly how that one's gonna work, but we'll put it in. And then we will do the white on top. All right, now let's see what happens. All right. So we'll let that move. It didn't do the webbing normally like the Floetrol will. So again, I'm feeling like this probably acts a lot more like when you just use like the Liquitex pouring medium. So it's kind of moving. I think I'm gonna use a torch and see if we get some cells. Because there's, you know, it's so thin right here, that might work. Nope, no cells. I'm gonna try over here. Nope, no cells. Well, maybe they'll go over time. So we'll just let it do its thing. Give it the benefit of the doubt, if you will. All right, now I'm gonna do a dirty pour. And, all right, we'll do white. And switch the order up a little bit. We'll do some blue. And this. And I need to remember to wipe these off. I'm so bad at that, and so a lot of my things with lids have, like, they can't even shut. And I'll put this on the top. Yeah, so I think that this is a lot like, you know, if there was something, this may work best for things that maybe you didn't want cells for. So I bet, and maybe we'll try it next, as a ring pour. I bet that would come out really nice with this pouring medium. In particular, if you want your ring pour that doesn't have like a lot of cells. All right, so we'll slide this on, and then we will yeah, no cells here. Again, I'll torch. Oh, there's a couple. There's a couple. Yeah, but nothing major happening as far as cells go. Come on. You can do it. I don't want to burn it. You know, it looks neat though. It looks neat. Let's see if I can just tip this without ruining the rest of them. Oops, hold on a minute. I'm gonna set that squeegee down so it doesn't get paint all over the place. Okay, let's see if we can move that over a little. Get some of those cells moving. Okay. We'll come this direction. Yeah, no cells. I did burn it. You can kind of see where I left it on a little bit too much. But again, the colors are translucent and it is neat. It is kind of neat. Yeah, I did definitely burn it, which is a little bit of a bummer. Oh, this is kind of cool. Because it's translucent, it's doing this really nice, you know, if you can see it there. I'm trying not to go too much because this one over here, I actually kind of like it, the way that it's doing its thing. So I'll leave it like that. Okay. Why don't we do a ring pour? See how that turns out. And I think I'm gonna start with the blue, the light green I'm eating, and then we'll do the dark. And then we will do yellow and top it off with a teeny bit of white. All right, let's see how this one turns out. All right. Oops, come on. Kind of moved it around a little bit. It's kind of fun. Yeah, as I suspected. So for the ring pour, I think it looks actually really nice. In particular, if you want the ring forms that don't get cells, I don't like ring pours that have cells as much as I like the ones without it because you really get the nice edge there. And yeah, that kind of looks cool. So I think so far it works really good for the ring pour. And I may do another one. Actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna do like just a quick dump and pull. And I'm not using yellow this time. I think I'm just gonna use the blue and then the light. Oops. And then the white. Let's see how that works. I don't know, y'all. Let's see. Oop. All right. Oh boy. This is so small and it's like a weird angle for me. So I wonder if I can, oh jeez, cripey. That did not work out. Oh well. I mean, what can you say? That's sort of funny. Oh, you know what I think I might do though? I'm looking at it. I'm gonna try to see if I can kind of get it to run across both without moving these other ones too much. I don't know if I'll get it, but we'll see. First, let's pull this over here. There, at least it's covering. Now let's see if I can get it run down. That's already moving, but let's do it anyway. And I am gonna just do the torch just to see. Try not to burn it. No. I mean, it's moving, but very slowly. Obviously. I don't really want to ruin this one. Let's see. Oh, maybe I'll try a swipe. Since there's a bunch of extra paint here, I'll add a little bit more. And then we'll do a swipe with the white. How would that work? All right. I'm really curious actually now that I'm thinking about it. I'm going to bring some of this stuff over so I can reuse it. I probably could have done a swipe with that. You know what? Let's... No, I think I'm going to add a little bit of... I don't want to mix it too much so it gets muddy. But I think I'm going to do white. See, there's a lot of paint here, so it's starting to run into this. Hopefully it won't overlap too much. The bottle says it will dry within 24 hours and it will be nice and glossy. I'm sure if there's pouring medium, like traditional pouring medium in here, that would be true. You know, if there's pouring medium in here, like the Liquitex, then it would be nice and glossy. All right, let's see how that works. Not so much. Not. I mean, if you want cells, I don't think the straight mix will work for that. Nope. However, if you want to do ring pour, works great. If you want to do interesting swirls with the paint, and you know, and again, this is similar to what happens with the Liquitex pouring medium. You get these really beautiful, you know, waves of color, and they don't mix together, you know, unless you really over mix it. They stay pretty well separated, so it looks pretty neat. And I'm actually, just because I don't want to totally ruin this, I'm gonna see if I can just do a little nice swirl in there and see how that comes out. And I'm just trying to pour my paint. Sorry, I was doing it over here. In stripes. And then I'll see if I can do a little swirly. I mean, a major swirly. Okay. And I expect it will spread out. Look, I didn't even do it that much, and it looks like it burnt a little here too. So this stuff must be pretty sensitive. Oh, you know the other thing I should try? Maybe I'll do it right here, since that's just kind of sitting there, is maybe I'll do a quick dip. Yeah, let's do that. Because I do those pretty frequently too. So, I mean, again, it's not gonna look pretty, people, because I've already used this one a lot, but I am gonna just see how it turns out. I bet the dips actually would look really nice, because they, you know, you don't always want the colors to mix too much. You just want them to flow. All right. And since I happen to have this here, I'm just going to do the dip with the baggie. My preference is saran wrap, but we'll do this anyway. That's neat. And that's really cool too. Love that. Now, it's because it kind of burnt, it looks a little weird right there. I'm just gonna dip it and see. I mean, you know. Boop. That's cool. I like it. Now I'm over dipping it and ruining it, but that's okay. This is just a little test. So, actually, I think it looks kind of neat. Really interesting, and what's happening over here? That's interesting. Really interesting. Okay, so my take quickly after I've done all of these different. I'm liking it for the ring pour, the dip, the the swirl, where you're really trying to get defined lines. Not liking it as much for open cut pour, dirty cut pour, swipe, or the straw blow, because I personally like to get the webbing that you get from straw blow like that, and it's not, it's not happening here. This to me is a lot like mixing paint with Liquitex pouring medium versus Floetrol. So if you like pouring medium, I think you'd probably like this. Actually, the consistency is really great. The paint moves, the colors are bright. We'll see what it looks like in the morning. All right, so as we know, most of the techniques that would have produced cells or webbing, like what you see in Floetrol with using Floetrol, didn't really work with the straight out of the bottle pours. It really worked best for the ring pour, for the pour, where you're kind of doing designs with the paint, dipping, I think it worked really well for. And blowing, even though I normally would get cells, this really has a really cool smoky quality to it, which is nice. It did dry within 24 hours. As you can see, because I did it on the paint, on paper, and I had it taped down, it was really thick over the taped areas. So when I went to pull it off, again, really similar to the Liquitex pouring medium, it's very rubbery. That's partially why it's nice and shiny. It's like almost like rubber. You can totally bend it. This is pretty thick. You cannot really see the texture of the paper. This, because I blew it out, was a little bit thinner, so you can see the texture of the paper. But that's okay. It's still really nice and shiny. So just like they said, beautiful shine. It does kind of dent. So, you'll want to finish it with something so that you can protect it. So whether that's resin, or I'll probably test out gloss varnish or something like that. I use Liquitex. And then, you can make sure it's protected. So, yeah. So this is how they dried, exactly as they were when we left them. They didn't move. This one in particular, isn't that amazing? Clear as day. Those lines are crisp, which is so cool. So it did not blend. Paint's pretty dark. It was a little bit lighter when we poured it, so it definitely darkened up, but still, look, these cards stuck together, so you can ignore that, but sorry, look at this. Again, nice, crisp lines. So, yeah, if you want cells, straight out of the bottle isn't gonna work. But if you wanna do some other really cool things, it is. I did do other testing last night, which I'll show you. All right, so this, I poured it and moved it around within this pouring kit box here, and that looks just so cool, right? This one, I did the straw blow like you would to create a flower, blew right in the middle, and so it kind of went out, and then I, blew it out a little bit. it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Yeah, really happy about that. I did test other things for another video. I added some additives and silicone. So I started testing that. You can see this one is dry already. Not large cells, but nice ones. Again, and they're really nicely formed, and they're although they're teeny, they are crisp and clear. So it's really nice for that. So anyway, look for the other videos on the tests with the addition, the additives, and hope you enjoyed it and have a great day.